Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Genesis Alpha 1. We have jumped into the system with the Genesis planet. Take a look in here, you can see there it is, Gonnet. This planet suits all the needs for a successful Genesis, requiring 15 crew, all consuming an O2 atmosphere. We now have 15 crew members consuming O2. We've got a little bit of debris for the staff to work on, so we'll get them doing that. I have had to add an extra couple of turrets around the ship in a couple of places. I had to replace one actually in the tractor beam room because that ran out. You can see we've got a little bit of sulfur ore left to be processed, and so there's almost enough for one more turret to be added into the production queue, but we have plenty now for us to be actually pushing on and starting our mission. So to do a Genesis mission, we have to launch them from the hangar bay. As you can see, we can now initiate Genesis. We do have, we have met the requirements. I just want to check what weapons we have going with us. The iron thrower, that's the power shotgun, I think, which we're already carrying. That's our assault rifle and the acid rifle. That's actually a decent mix. There's no laser weaponry though.
Resource acquired.
Not sure if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. We'll go with this setup for now. We've got plenty of ammo, as you can see, plenty of turrets and barriers, so we are good to go. Just unfortunately we don't have a brilliant ability to take with us. We're still kind of stuck with awareness, which isn't really all that useful to us, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. So let's initiate Genesis. Now, Captain, as you can see, is required to join the expedition, so we have to go. The ship will not launch without us. And this is actually a solo mission, despite the fact that we're taking 15 crew down with us. This is something we do on our own. So you see, the final step to initiate Genesis is to do some terraforming. Here we are on the planet's surface. So our team has set up base camp just here, a whole load of sort of equipment boxes, big satellite dish, crew kind of dotted around, and some turrets are kind of just randomly positioned. Now we can pick those two turrets up and take them with us if we want, but of course what we can also do is we can obviously raid our supplies here. I'm going to take a couple of extra barriers with me, plenty of turrets as well, make sure that all my weapons are in good condition. I'm actually going to switch to the iron thrower. That's full. That's only 3 rounds short of being full, so we won't waste an ammo pack for 3 rounds. Basically, there is a nest here on the planet that we have to go and eliminate. So let's go and find our way down. There are plenty of ways down into the nest site. These rock piles here, they all have entrances down into this kind of underground complex. There's loads of them dotted all over the place. There's another one over there. I think there's certainly one over there in the background, maybe even 2 entrance sites. So I haven't been in this way before on one of these Genesis missions. Oh, that's actually the barrier, so that's as far as we can go. But it's not a round dome, as you can see. We've actually got a large squared off block, and this might be an entrance over here. Actually, it is. So as we head down here, we have these kind of blockades here. Now we can damage them like this if we want to, but honestly the iron thrower is just more fun, and we're going to get quite a few creatures sort of making their way down here towards us. There's something lurking behind there. It might be one of the creatures. There's also previous expeditions that have come down and failed, so you can see we'll find lots of dead bodies, ammo packs and light sticks, things like that. You can see obviously signs of infestation there, and here we go, we've got our first encounter. They've found us. So one thing we can do is we can obviously just try and keep killing these guys off, but to be honest, they just keep coming. So the easiest thing to do is to just make our way through. Oh, and we found... Oh, I think we've just found Mama Bear already. Yeah, we've found the Queen already. And she does not look happy. Why can't I put a turret down here? There we go. I saw her scurrying off. There she is in the background. She's looking very big and aggressive. Here she comes. She's seen us. We need to kill Mama Bear as quickly as we can. That barrier's not going to hold her for very long. Break out the iron thrower. Oh, one of our turrets is out of ammo already. And there we go. She's down. That was actually really quick. really, really quick. I've never found the Queen that quickly before. That was insane. I can't believe it's over that quickly. Now, I have only ever completed a Genesis mission on an O2 planet, so I don't know if what we've come across is different on different planets. I would imagine it possibly would be.
Chain of command by the will of the people.
But what you'll see is if we move through this a huge sort of underground network of tunnels. See these bits of biomassa from the creatures that we killed and possibly the Queen as well. And it's just a whole kind of network. You can see all these spores that are dying off now that we've killed the Queen. As we make our way through, you'll see lots and lots of kind of previous failed attempts from other colonists, other missions. There's another dead clone just there. We've obviously got a bit more ammo. And we could explore the whole area here, but we've done what we came to do, which I'm amazed. Like I said, that we got it done so quickly. I was expecting it to take us a good 15-20 minutes to clear all this out. And we found the Queen immediately. So, yeah, that's that. Genesis is done. We just need to go and actually finalize it now. So, I've got to find my way out of here. See, it gets very, very dusty as we destroy these rocks. Weapon rack is now full, and there we go. We found a way out. Where have we come out? Over here. So this is where we first looked at potentially going down, and we ended up going down over there instead.
The crown of creation, they say.
And there we go. You can see all of our clones lined up.
Culture to this place. What can we offer to this world?
Waiting for us to initiate Genesis. And there we go, we get our final report. Official valuation. Success! The extreme climatic conditions of the planet made the terraforming process a complicated work. It took 7 years to make the surface inhabitable. The settlers enjoyed the new freedom and stayed outside as often as possible. They developed the art of sculpting clouds and performed skydiving ballets around them. The wealth of resources were sustainable and granted a steady growth. Against all expectations, the planet became a cultivated and peaceful place with a happy population of mixed races for centuries. So there you can see a little breakdown of our stats there. Our expedition findings: we found 3 weapons, 3 suit upgrades, 2 ship modules, 5 alien species locations, no robotics. We didn't find the B1. 2 resource locations. And if you take a look at our left-hand side, our statistics, we cloned 31 crew members. We lost 9, and we have 9 crew settlers. So that means if we wanted to carry on, 9 of our existing crew would disappear, and the others would come back to the ship with us. Planet expeditions 33, planets scanned 171, ship modules built 116. Didn't lose a single module. I'm very proud of that. Killed over 1,800 aliens. We explored 31% of the planets. 45% of the aliens were encountered. 100% of the clones were researched. So we didn't have any clones that were partially, we were waiting on samples to unlock. We found all of the different race types. We didn't get them all the way up to their full levels, but we found all of the clone types out there and got the rank of Star Captain, which I think is my highest ever rank, which is pretty cool. So we get a summary of what we found. The acid thrower, the crawl. You can see that this is a locked clone, so we won't have this available at the start of a playthrough. But we will have the shroom locations, a suit upgrade, which increases grenade consuming damage, weapon damage by 5%. The clone again locked, the Mantis clone. Some suit upgrades, some platinum. More suit upgrades. We found locations of the Freeman marked on our map. Be very useful to avoid them going forward. Again, another clone type, the Zeleny. They are locked, so we can't have those at the start of a playthrough. The assault rifle, the iron thrower. I do love that gun. The arachnoids, the rocks, the Dekar. The beaming station. I think that just unlocks automatically once your ship reaches a certain number of modules, a certain size. It just automatically unlocks for you. The hollow. The inferno. The liquid. The mantis locations. Copper. Zeleny locations marked on the map, and Inferno locations marked on the map as well. And finally the security gate, which we didn't actually use, but if you watched my pre-release streams you will have seen these in action. So that's all the things that we unlocked. There's loads more stuff to unlock, a lot more stuff, and we have a choice. We can continue our mission. So it gives us the chance to continue with the ship that we have, some of the crew, and the artifacts that we found to find another suitable planet for Genesis, or we can start a new mission. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new mission, but what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to go into continue mission and see which crew members have disappeared. Essentially, which ones went on the Genesis mission and who's left. So here we go. Continue mission plus. The crew who could not consume the atmosphere of the planet are ready to venture back into space to find more Genesis candidates. You can also retrieve 4 additional crew members from the planet's surface to aid us in our journey. So, in that case, it's our choice. I wasn't sure. So you can see Katie, Randy, Nick, Emilio, Jakes, Mike version 2, Wolfie version 2, Pidge, Fenrir, Kiwi, Joel. I must have forgotten to rename that clone there. Felon, Lawson, 2 other unnamed crew members there. DQ version 2 and Hatley version 2 as well. So there we go. They are the crew members that we can choose from. If that's the case, I think what I'll do is I'll wipe out the human crew. We'll start a brand new playthrough. We'll go with a different corporation this time. So let's take a look what we have got available. We've got nothing else unlocked. We didn't get enough stuff done to unlock Superior Genetics 2. We didn't unlock General Ballistics level 2. What do we need to get for that one? Research 3 clones to tier 2. Yeah, we didn't get that far. Refine 60 iron in a single round will unlock Style Union Part 2. So who do we go with? Do we go with Style Union or do we go with General Ballistics? I think we'll go with General Ballistics this time. Again, you can see here the Freeman and the mechanics both locked off to us. We don't have the ability to go with either of those. So we'll go with General Ballistics. And can we take any additional crew? No, we're limited to just 5. Okay, but we can choose 4 starting artifacts. I think it would be rude not to take a weapon with us. I could go with the all-powerful Iron Thrower. That would make things a little bit too easy, I think. Let's go with the assault rifle. Let's see what else I want to start with as well. The beaming station, well, that'll be unlocked once our ship reaches a certain size, so we don't really need to worry about that one. That might be useful to start with. Cell damage. Would be useful to know where platinum is. I definitely want the security gate. So let's see, what else can we take? What are my other upgrades? Bullet consuming weapons going up by 5%. Well, we have an assault rifle. That's a bullet consuming weapon. That would make sense for us to take that. Yeah, and we'll take the location of platinum as well. So there we go. That's what we're going to start with. Let's see. From our crew, if we take out all the human crew or the arachnoid crew, let's see who is left. Binny will be coming with us. GP will be coming with us, possibly. Who else is left? Dan Mitchell was a Zeleny. He was captain last time out. I might retire Dan. I've got 5 spots, well, 4 spots to fill. So I'm going to choose 4. Let's see. I think we'll go with those who had the shortest runs. So Fractured, we'll take Fractured with us on the new crew. Muka didn't last very long, only a couple of episodes, so we'll take Muka. Muka was an Inferno. Who else can we look at bringing back? Let's go with Dan. That's Dan Colgrave, not Dan Mitchell. Those are the 3 that I'll bring back. And then we'll start with some new crew members for the start of our new mission.
When I was young, our
And this
dreams
time what
were
we'll try and do
stars.
is we'll try and build a ship that is going to be more conducive to big expansions.
Welcome to the shipbuilding interface. Here you build and upgrade our ship.
So the plan for this one will be to have 4 biodomes and plenty of crew spaces so that we can have a whole mix of atmosphere types, plenty of crew, a good amount of storage, and try and keep the ship as compact as we possibly can in terms of its width. Keep it probably quite long. So I'm going to draw a whole load of corridors coming out down here.
Make sure you balance the ship's
To start
layout
with.
between security and efficiency.
So let me think, how do I want to do this? Corridor coming off this way. And where do I want my crew lounges? I think if I have my crew lounges up here, perhaps. Actually, no. Let's do something a little bit different. Life systems greenhouses.
This is a greenhouse.
What I'm going to
The
do
concept
is
of
I'm going to have my
cultivating plants
greenhouses
on board
right
our
up
ship
tight
is
here.
central to the Genesis project. There is no technology known to us that can effectively store or even provide a vital biosphere for the full time of our endeavor.
Do I go there, or do I put a
Different
bit of a
life
space?
forms also demand different biosphere components to survive on this ship. To compose a certain biosphere, we need special plants.
I might put a space.
Superior genetics cloning technology is not configured for the creation or reproduction of plants. This means that we need to protect our plants at all costs.
What if I go there? Yeah, I'll go there. And the plan will be, I mean, I don't think I'm going to have enough aluminium to do another one of these, but the plan will be for there to be another greenhouse here, in this spot here, like that, and then on the opposite side there'll be a greenhouse here, and then another one just next to it, or below it, just there as well. So now what I want to do is I want to put in some corridor access. In fact, if I'm gonna, we haven't started the mission yet, so we can afford to delete this. If the ship was up and running though, or if we started the mission without one of those, we'd be in real trouble. I go to greenhouse now. I want to put this in there, like that. I still get the feeling maybe I should have a gap. You know, the more I look at it, the more I think, yeah, there probably should be a gap. So let's put the gap in. There we go. I want to have storage running down the spine of the ship, down here. No. I'm too indecisive. I'm going to go back to how I initially had this. So, back to life systems, greenhouse. There we go. So we'll have storage that runs down here, and then probably storage that runs along here as well. So that means this wants to be a corridor connection. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to put in my sort of crew quarters coming off this section here. And then coming down here, I want to have space for... what do I want to have just here? Maybe space for biotanks. The biotanks for these guys will only hold 20. It's a far cry from the biotanks we had for Superior Genetics, which could hold 80 on their own. Huge amounts of genetic material. We can only hold 20 per tank, and we need 20 for any kind of research. So yeah, we need more than one biotank. We need at least 2, probably, ideally, more than 2. Otherwise, it's going to be a long slog. I don't know. Maybe we could go with just 2 tanks. As long as we have more than 1, though, 1 won't be enough. So let's see. There's a tank here that's going to take up that spot, and that spot, and then I don't know. I'm trying to think exactly where to put the tractor beam. I kind of want that to be kind of somewhere around here, maybe.
Our tractor beam module is a fast way to acquire already refined materials. Materials will be directly moved to the ship's storage.
Actually do
no deposit and no refinery required.
The tractor beam here, couldn't I? Maybe. No, I kind of like the idea of having the crew quarters here. Sort of what's essentially going to be reasonably central on our ship. So let's put in a crew quarters.
Each crew member needs a slot in one of these modules. If a crew member is sick or feels
so we do one there, and then the plan will be to have another one here, and then on the opposite side, one there, and then another one next to it just there, which means that comes down here, and now I can work out where I need the tractor beam to go. So we take that out. Using up a lot of energy unnecessarily at the moment, but that's okay. We can get away with that. So if I put in the tractor beam here, like so, and this works out space-wise as well, because you know, most of the modules are going to be 3 widths wide like that. So very few things are going to be need to take up a wider footprint than that, and the stuff that is going to do that will mainly be the hangar, and that'll be further down here, so that's not an issue. And the engines, of course, we'll put those at the back. So it's a bit lopsided at the moment, our ship. Let's trim this up a little bit if we can. We do have those security gates, don't we? I want to save those, perhaps. Actually, maybe I could put a security gate in there, protect the greenhouses a little bit. Actually, no, it's not going to protect the greenhouses, because I'm thinking about frame and borders. Nah, we'll save those. We'll leave that as that is. So we'll just trim some of this excess corridor off. Try and keep things a little bit more organised. I need some storage. That's a bare essential minimum. So let's go with some storage.
This is the refined storage module. Production-ready materials leave the refinery and will be stored.
Like so. And they would like me to put in...
If we run out of space, the refining process will be placed on hold. Our refined materials are the source for shipbuilding, weapon, and ammunition supply.
You know what? I am changing my mind again. I am going to move this back, but there's a reason why I'm going to move this back an extra square. And that is, it just gives me a little bit of flexibility. So, if I put the greenhouse in here... The reason I've done that is I'm going to have like a spine of storage that runs down the centre of the ship, all the way down here, so we'll get plenty of storage. There's no problem there. But what I would like is the ability to maybe put a beaming station here, or maybe an access port, so that I can get into the tunnels. So I'm going to drop an access port just there, and then maybe on the opposite side, when we unlock it, we'll put a beaming station just here. Hell, if we go up to another level, I might even put an elevator there. or maybe an elevator here. Who knows? But having easy access to the tunnels up here, I think, could be quite useful, especially if we get an infestation. We want to have access to run down this corridor here relatively easily, and that just gives me the space to do it. Plus, I think it would look quite cool if we have that kind of separation there of all the storage running down as like the, literally the spinal column of the ship, like that, with storage modules running all the way down the center, and then have a little gap, and then have our biodomes either side, like that. So we'll go with that. And then as we come back this way, what we can do is we can, back here we can have our hangar and our refinery and some depositories, and then engines coming off the sides perhaps of that as well. It gives us some options to play about with. So yeah, a little one-sided at the moment, because we don't have the materials to build a second one of those. The only thing we do possibly need to throw in would be a biotank, and I'm not quite sure where to put that right now. I suppose theoretically go to farming.
All biomass you collect will be stored here.
It's not going to fit there, but theoretically I could stick a biotank there.
Biomass tanks ready.
Like that. That is going to limit my storage a fair bit to 20, 40, 60, 80. Limit it to 120. That's not too bad actually. And then have biotanks either side, like that. How do I do that? Let's try that. So we'll put a biotank in there, and we basically just built one side of the ship. So we will mirror on the other side as the resources start coming in, and obviously we'll put a crew quarter here at some point as well. So let me just drop in the corridor connection for that, and then on the other side there'll be an access, and then from the access 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, there we go. And then we have the basic kind of framework of our ship to get us started. So this ship, we will keep going with the JBPG theme, but we'll keep this one as the USS. We had a successful run with the HMS. We'll make this one the USS JB PG. There we go. And we will start game. So there is our slightly lopsided ship. You can see those support frames built, ready for the next round. Let's see the name of our new captain. Who are we? We are Captain Gates.
New captain promoted.
Okay, so a bit of a different bridge layout, as you can see. We had a very, very swish, swanky, very posh kind of bridge last time. This is very much more a functional, utilitarian, I suppose, kind of feel. Looks like we've got almost like a tactical map here, I suppose, on there, on that table. Not quite sure what that's supposed to represent. Maybe some kind of tactical display. You can see we've got debris that needs to be scanned. Our trading platform is just here. What's that say? Join the join Genesis program, and a little pen. Again, look, people leaving coffee cups all over the place. Have to complain to Genesis Command about that. So let's get some staff assigned. Let's get 2 crew members in here, and if we run down the ship, there they go, making their way to the bridge. It's going to be a very long ship, this. Let's get 2 people assigned in here. So, in terms of starting resources, what do we have? We have 2 turrets and 2 barriers. Nice. A selection of ammo. You know, 8 boxes of grenades, 8 boxes of energy cells. We have our pistol, our laser rifle. That is our combat shotgun. And we can't change the loadouts in here, unfortunately, until we get a workshop up and running. So quite a few different things that we do need to get done, and we will probably want to get a beaming station definitely on board this ship at some point. Let's start prepping as well. So we'll put a barrier there to protect the corridor, and a turret there. We'll put a turret here, and again to stop anything running off down the corridor. We'll put a barrier there. It's not quite straight, but it'll do. Let's take a look and see what we have in the system. Some lithium and some iron. Let's grab the iron first. We need that to be able to bring in those new modules. And we need to start naming our crew as well, don't we? So, let's see. I'm going to rename Wells. So Fractured has come with us on this mission. Fractured was an Inferno rank 2 last time. Now is just a lowly human, along with the rest of us. And Larson. I'm going to rename Muka. Muka was our other rank 2 Inferno for the away missions. Now I've got to sort out the crew members up here.
Resources collected.
So Mora, Mora, who kept getting sick last time out, this time is going to be Rexman Gamer. Actually, no, Rexman Gamer actually requested the clone to be called Sam, and actually did specifically, I think, request a female as well. So there we go.
Resource acquired.
So I just need to rename our other crew member, Burger. And Burger will be Dan Colgrove. So Dan, the man who last time out was a Dekar clone, is now a human. There we go. So that's it for the existing crew from the previous ship that's been transferred over, and one brand new crew member in Rexman Gamer. The rest of the crew, as they are added, will be brand new additions from the list. So if you want to see yourself in the crew, then drop me a comment in the drop me a message in the video comments down below. Let me know whether you want to be in the crew, what your clone name would be, and whether you'd be a male or female clone if you have a preference. If you don't, then I will kind of just go with how I'm feeling, I suppose. But there we go. Let's see, where are we in terms of resources? We've got 6 iron. We're in a position to add in some bits and bobs. Let's have a look. I'd like to get a workshop in. There we go.
This is
get the workshop in place. That's the front of the ship.
Research and construct weapons and defenses.
So the workshop is going to go
configure the weapon racks with
for the workshop on this side. There we go. Add a little bit of counterbalance on this side of the ship. The next thing we'll do is look at getting a clone lab in. We need 5 iron. We've got 2.
Resource acquired.
How much iron is left? Ah, we've got enough. Okay, so let's quickly beam the rest of the iron on board.
Resource beaming complete.
So this ship, now that we've done one playthrough with the superior genetics, we are going to run this ship as long as we possibly can. I'm constructing this one. I did a test build on my old profile, and that's kind of what I'm going to try and configure the ship to, is that kind of test build, so that we've got the ability to have a vast sort of selection of plants, a very diverse atmosphere, and the ability to, you know, run the ship in multiple configurations, so that we can try and do multiple Genesis runs on a single ship. We could possibly have done it on the last ship, but the amount of resources we would have had to scrap, plant-wise, to be able to pull it off, it was too much of a chore, too much of a mission. Well, not a chore, too much of a head scratcher to try and figure out just how we could possibly do it without breaking up the flow of the ship. You know, just how many plants we would potentially have to get rid of to, you know, demolish the atmospheres and rebuild them, and yeah, just not worth it. You know, this is easier for us, I think, is to actually have a clean ship, a clean build. So I've got enough iron now. I should be able to get the clone lab in.
In our cloning laboratories, new clones can be created and added
There we go.
to the crew.
So we need some biomass now so that we can actually start creating clones. And do I have enough left for some storage? Yes, I do. There we go. So we've got 40 units of storage. We can now basically just start attacking these debris fields in the nearby areas until we've got the ability to create a hangar and go out and start attacking the planets themselves for resources. So kind of back to early days for us again, but it will work out for us. You know, so that'll be able to start producing barriers pretty soon. And let's start looking around at other sort of systems nearby us. See what's been scanned. Where are we? Oh, we're over, all the way over here. Again, you can see we've got a completely different map this time. New starting location. We do have a merchant really close, but again, we're at a position at the moment where we just don't have any kind of resources that we can trade with. So it's not worth even going over there at this stage. We'll just try and keep track of him, and maybe we'll head over there reasonably soon. Need to build the ship up a bit first, and need a lot of materials to do that. We've got some sulfur there. That we can convert straight into turrets, so we don't have to worry about that eating up storage. The iron we can use to build the ship. That's a very good little system for us to head to. This system here, 3 debris fields, some lithium for barriers, some copper. Now we will need copper going forward, and iron. So we might go here next, actually, because we'll need copper for certain buildings. What have we got over here? Just one debris field, and it's iron. So I think we'll go there, and then drop down to this system at the bottom once we finish that. And then from there, I suppose, we'll kind of head out to this little cluster over here. Can't see what's in there. They're unknown systems. We actually have to be sort of within range to be able to start scanning them. And that's our very small range at the moment, just a 9 square block. So if we were sat in there, we could scan all 5 of those systems, but if we were sat here, we could scan those 3, and that would be it. So it's going to be weird coming back to having such an understaffed, underrun ship for a while. But going forward, I think we'll be in a good place. Oh, look at that, we actually got a bit of biomass. We're already 20% of the way towards a new clone. We need 5 biomass. We've got 1. So that's promising. That's a start. Got 1 lithium left to come on board. That's this piece right now. So let's get ready to jump to the next system.
Resource acquired.
I kind of want to change the colour of the ship a bit as well. I think we'll do that in a second. So there we go, that's the lithium on board. So was it here that we said we were going to go next? The lithium and the copper and the iron. Yes, it was this system. So let's hyper jump our way.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
It's always so weird when you're running down a corridor and it hyper jumps like that. Cool, but weird. And let's start beaming in some of these resources. I think we'll start with the iron. There we go. Let's take a look at our shipbuilding. See what we do need the copper for. I'm going to want to put in some extra reactors. Pretty soon you can see we're already down to just 36 energy remaining. We will need aluminium for that. Iron is also going to give us the ability to try and create a hangar. What was it I needed copper for? Wasn't the security gates, although having that would be helpful. I think I'd quite like... Oh, a creature over here looking for us. There's another one over here somewhere. There it is. Oh, we got our first DNA strand. It's arachnoid. Makes sense, I suppose. We usually encounter them very, very early on. Dead bug down here. I was going to say, where's the turret? It's right there. Might be useful to have a turret over here as well. We don't have another turret at the moment, though, so just have to be wary of that, I think. Back to the shipbuilding. Where was I? Yeah, we want to get the hangar up and running down here. So what I might do is I might have a security gate sort of running off a corridor this way, and then have the hangar coming off that way. That would isolate the hangar from the rest of the ship. In terms of the creepy crawlies, at the very least, it probably wouldn't stop an infestation, and it would only really block off part of the ship for a clone attack, not clone attack, sorry, a Dekar attack, or no, sorry, a Freeman attack or a mechanic attack. So if they were to jump in at the back of the ship, Christ, there's a whole load of creatures in here. First ability sample, and it's awareness again. Boo. I want something good this time. But yeah, I mean, if we were to kind of put the gate on lockdown, so that yeah, it would trap anything on one side of it, that'd be great if they stayed contained on that side. But all it would do is it just contain a small cluster, and when Frame and the mechanics invade, they just invade randomly all over the ship. You know, you can lock off one location, but all you're doing is just trapping a couple of people in one location. It doesn't stop the rest of the ship from being, you know, randomly teleported onto. So the security gate is great for stopping creepy crawlies, but well-placed turrets can do that job. A security gate I was hugely impressed with the first time I saw it. Now I'm a little less enamoured with it, and I have been playing around with the decontamination chamber, and we may just go with those instead. We'll see. It's nice to have it as an available option in case I change my mind. How are we doing on iron? How much do I need for the hangar? It's 10, I think, isn't it? It is, it's 10. So let me start plotting out my connections. So if I come down, do I want to come down this far? Probably do. I mean, theoretically I could. I don't have the copper yet, but I could put a security gate in here. The problem I have with the security gate is it's one-sided in terms of the entrance and exit. So again, I like the ability to have symmetry. If it was a a big room, sort of like this, with a central corridor running through. I'd be cool with that. But it's not. It's a bit bulky. So yeah, I might. I don't know. I suppose I could put one here, coming off this way. One coming off this way, going out that way. Oh, there's something underneath. It's gone for a conduit, look. On one of our power connectors. We've got more samples. Awareness, second sample, and arachnoid sample number 2. Yeah, I need a barrier over here, but then I need a way to stop stuff from getting down there as well. Might need to move a turret. Let's take this turret. Let's drop it here in the corner.
Resource beaming complete.
Out of the way.
Resource acquired.
Something else came up. There it is. Hey, a lot of stuff coming up through the transporter beam there, aren't we? Right, let's create a couple of barriers. Try and lock off some of these corridors. They are threatening to run amok. There we go. So if I put a barrier... Oh, I've got to collect them, haven't I? That would help.
Access granted.
There we go. Let's take them both.
Resources collected.
Nothing came up this time. Let's barrier that one off. Like so. Not too worried about the sides because there's nowhere for those to go, but up top will be another matter. Or at least it will be once we've you know, finished figuring out our expansion up here.
Resource beaming complete. Resource acquired.
So, beam has stopped. We've actually stopped grabbing the last of the iron. So let's start working on the copper. What else was it? Lithium, yeah. I don't know if I want to come off this close like this, or whether I want to leave a gap. I suppose if I leave a gap, then I could potentially put a decontamination room in just here. And then bring a corridor off this way. It just means I end up with a gap here with nothing really to kind of put in here. Off the top of my head, I suppose I could put biotanks through there if I wanted to going forward. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's run corridors off this way. Hell, I could even put generators down there, couldn't I? They're small. They would fit in this spot here. Generators and shield generators as well. Where is the hangar?
This is our hangar module. The hangar is necessary to acquire.
So do I go with the hangar on this side or
other interesting things from planets
the hangar on that side?
You need to assign pilots to operate a hangar.
I'll go with the hangar on this side for a change. We went with it on the other side last time. So let's put our hangar in just there. Like that. There we go. And then I want a corridor connection there. And then I don't have enough iron for a refinery, but the refinery will sit here, and then we can have deposits coming down here in that space there. It gives me space to put a beaming station just here, so I can go from the hangar and beam there straight back up to here, right next to the bridge. So that'll work out for us quite nicely. So it's all starting to take some shape. We just need a lot more iron. But now that we have the ship, now we can actually start going out to planets and getting iron off the planets as well to really speed up how quickly we can get stuff. So we're going to call it an episode here. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob. I'll be back with some more Genesis Alpha 1 as we run our second brand new ship very soon.